All right, the Grand Rapids Town Board is meeting today, Wednesday, January 10th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Town of Grand Rapids Municipal Building. First, we'll call to order the public hearing. The first one is, at 6 o'clock. The first one is the purpose of the public hearing is to consider and receive public comments on the following. Todd Dillman, doing business as Tri-City Golf Course LLC, requests a conditional use permit to allow for pouring for the purpose of constructing a pond for irrigation at 3010 Golf Course Road in the town of Grand Rapids, Wisconsin. Parcel number 0700371 in section 19, township 22 north, range 6 east, Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Ms. applicant or anyone here wishing to speak about her?
Mr. Dillon is here. He's
okay, sorry. Anything you'd like to say, or should
No, I mean, obviously, we're, the concept is, right now, we're tied to the river water. We get all of our irrigation at the golf course from the river. The pump house, we share a pump house with Bullseye Country Club, and they have to redo their pump house, which is a pretty old pump house. And the cost of that is substantial, and I would share a third of that cost. But in lieu of sharing that water source of the river, we'd like to go add a couple things. Number one, adding a pond serves a couple purposes. It serves as an irrigation source, serves as a play for the golfers that come out. We've been able to continue to improve Tri-City between clubhouse, between employment, between just improving the course and keeping the prices reasonable for anyone to play, including the kids. It hasn't changed in price for children to play for $7. We're just looking to add something to it for the community. So the whole concept is it serves a couple purposes, and hopefully you all can see and appreciate and come out someday.
Thank you. Then I will ask 3 times if there's anyone here wishing to speak for. Yep.
We're on at 2521 Blueberry Lane. I looked into it. I didn't explore much about this thing, but providing the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, I don't have any objections to it.
Alan Pye, 4631 Kelvin Road. I don't have any objections to it either.
Wayne Jaworski, 2511 Blueberry Lane, and I third the motion.
Anyone else wishing to speak for? And anyone else wishing to speak for? Okay. Anyone wishing to speak against? Anyone wishing to speak against? And anyone wishing to speak against? Okay, we'll close that public hearing and we'll open the next at 6:03. The purpose of the public hearing is to consider and receive public comments on the following: changes to Ordinance 52 regulating zoning, amendment to Section 52.9H for consistency with Wisconsin Statute 66.100153A after Act 16, providing that a zoning amendment only requires approval by a simple majority when protest petition is received. And then amendment to Section 52.4H4, amending commercial side yard setback standards where adjacent to residential zone districts. Anyone wishing to speak to this? Okay. All right, then I will ask 3 times. Anyone wishing to speak for? All right. Anyone wishing to speak for? And anyone wishing to speak for? Okay. Anyone wishing to speak against? Anyone wishing to speak against? And anyone wishing to speak against? Okay, we'll close that public hearing at 6:04. All right, and then we will call to order the town board agenda, or town board meeting at 6:04. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, then second agenda item is approve agenda for meeting. Any changes?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda, or not the minutes, but the agenda.
Did I say minutes? Oh, okay.
No, we really don't need one.
Yeah, okay.
I was moving along too fast.
Yeah. All right, then third agenda item is approved minutes of the December 13th, 2023 town board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, next agenda item is public comment. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with public comment limited to a total of 30 minutes. And I just want to put a reminder out there for those who might not be used to this. So with public comment, we're here to listen. We cannot comment back, but we're here to listen to what you have to say. Okay.
Sandy Hepp, 2521 Blueberry Lane, and I'm here to talk about the 45th Street closure. I called United Emergency Medical Response to ask what the number of ambulance calls have been on Blueberry Lane in the last 5 years. I received no reply, but I think the town of Grand Rapids could get those numbers from them. We were told that there have been 5 accidents in 5 years at 45th and W. What were the causes of those accidents? Blueberry subdivision has had more calls than 5 in the last 5 years for the ambulance. Our last call was the 29th of December. Out of our 18 dwellings, there are 7 that have retirees. That's 39% of our population in that subdivision. With the 45th Street closure, it takes longer to get to Blueberry. Seconds matter if it's a loved one or you. County Trunk W and 45th Street is safer now because of the reduced speed of 35 miles per hour. I have heard snow plowing 45th is an issue. Is this any more problematic than other intersections? Is plowing a roundabout problematic? The roundabout opened October 11th, and on December 19th, 45th Street was closed. That's 70 days to try to get motorists to change a habit that many have been using for many years with the Wazecha exit. In these 70 days, were facts established to justify the 45th Street closure? I submit the safety of those in our subdivision has been jeopardized. This is a safety issue and more than an inconvenience, as noted on the road closure notice that we received. I understand this is a 6-month trial period, but what are the parameters of this trial period? I respectfully ask that you reconsider this decision.
Amen.
Again, my name is Wayne Jaworski, 2511 Blueberry Lane, it's a stone's throw from here. I've been living at this residence on Blueberry for 33 years, and I've never attended any meetings because I've never had a need to. Obviously, there's a number of us representing Blueberry Lane that are very, very concerned about the 45th closure. We're very dissatisfied with the way it was communicated to the folks in the neighborhood, as well as the Black Forest people. That I heard rumors that maybe 45th was going to be closed at some point, whether it was temporary or whatever, but it was a rumor, nothing official. And all of a sudden, one day I'm coming home from the east side of the county here, and all of a sudden there's concrete blocks put there. It was kind of a surprise to me, and come to find out that almost everybody was very surprised by that immediate closure. It would have been probably a lot more accepted for a temporary closure, just to try to filter people back into the roundabout. I understand, sometimes people need training pants and they need to be able to learn how to use a roadway that they're not comfortable with. Many people are not comfortable with roundabouts. I have no problem with the roundabout. Matter of fact, I give it kudos. That roundabout has slowed the traffic for the short period of time that 45th was open and W was reopened. People are not flying 50 miles an hour anymore from the west going westbound. So that roundabout has done a fabulous job of slowing everybody down there. I also commend whoever recommended the change speed limit to 35 miles an hour. That also has made it very much of a safe corner. So if safety is the biggest reason why 45th seems to need to be closed, I question that parameter, right? And again, as Sandy was saying, we have a needy child at the end of our block that, every minute counts when you're providing emergency services. And if it takes an extra 2 minutes for the ambulance to get over to that house at the end of the cul-de-sac, it's very it's a safety feature. So I guess what I'd like to do is I'd like to present a petition that I had collected from all the folks in Blueberry Lane, and I'm missing two. One is because the house isn't there anymore, it burned down. And the other is I was not able to reach those folks, but otherwise I've got signatures from every household, at least one adult member. And I'd ask the board to maybe accept this and consider an agenda item at your convenience, that we could actually talk about this whole situation. Obviously, I got a copy of the Public Works notes for all the 5 different options that you were looking at to try to get the traffic to come through the traffic circle. And I'm sure I could probably speak for everybody, but I can't officially. But I think all of us would be happy with version E, which was to leave 45th and 48th Street alone as it was. If this temporary closure is something that we need to put up for a period of time to really get a number of people to start using the cul-de-sac, great. It's awesome. I think that's a great idea. But if it doesn't work, people are going to use what's accessible. That road has been there ever since I've been living in Blueberry Lane. I mean, it was installed. I've been living in this area back when Lake Road was County Trunk W, and I saw the changes. So again, I asked the board to consider an agenda item down the line and maybe give some communication out to the folks that are most affected by this change, and that's the folks from Blueberry Lane and also the folks from the Black Forest. So would anybody be willing to accept that? And you know at least the people that are concerned about the issue. So thank you, I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Sure.
Brian Schmidt, 4511 Black Forest Drive. I'd like to reiterate the comments that Wayne mentioned. We went around through our subdivision, and I believe we received all signatures except for 6 houses in that entire subdivision, that people would like to have a public comment session or somehow be able to voice our opinion. Most, if not all, in that subdivision did not know that closure was going to happen until it was posted on the Facebook page. So the communication, as far as we feel, was very poorly handled. We would respectfully ask that, our voices, at least we, can be heard before the final decision is made in 6 months, because I believe this was a temporary, thing that's going to be reevaluated, although we don't know what the reevaluation is from the notes from the draft minutes. So I also have signatures here if somebody would like them. Ooh, test it out. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm Shirley Clapper. Well, I'm going to talk about something different. I'm going to talk about my concern about the road salt being used on the roads. It's been in the news lately on TV, and there was an article in the paper yesterday. I believe you have a copy and the DNR websites, copies of each of those. Just a little background, 1 teaspoon of salt is all it takes to make 5 gallons of water toxic for freshwater organisms. And these chloride levels do not break down after, once they're in the environment, they don't break down. There's no getting rid of them. And I would hope the town board would look into this. It seems a shame that down years or whatever, if something should happen to our lakes, we have Lake Wazeecha and Napco, it'd be a shame if, with all the excessive salt being put on the roads, that someday kids can go fishing in these lakes. So, I mean, I would hope that the board would take up this issue.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Yeah. I would encourage you to get rid of the 6-month time period, trial period. Get it out of there now. What are you guys going to do if somebody passes away on account of maybe the ambulance don't get there in time? I've heard, how long do you think it takes to get from 45th Street around and then back to 45th Street? I've heard 35 seconds. United Ambulance says 30 seconds. Takes me a minute and 20 seconds going the speed limit with no lights and siren on, you know. And there's consequences to no decision here. You'll be lucky if you know, that's, something like that don't happen. I'd encourage you to act proactively on it.
Any other public comment? Okay. All right, next agenda item then is monthly reports from the departments, starting with the fire department.
All right, good evening, board and citizens. Our department, or if you have any interest. Last month we had a busy month. We had 56 calls for service consisting of the following. We had 39 EMS calls. We had 17 calls for service on the fire side. Of those, on the fire side, there was 11 in Grand Rapids, 1 in Saratoga, none in Grant. We had 5 mutual aids. Broke down as 3 structure alarms, 5 mutual aid, 1 false alarm, 4 motor vehicle accidents, 1 wildland brush call, 1 vehicle fire, and 2 carbon monoxide calls. So training last month consisted, the EMS group focused on rehabilitation at structure fires for firefighters. And on the fire side, we did multiple Project Lifesaver drills. That's the program we're in with Wood County Sheriff's Department, where we go out and search for or people that wear the bracelets for whatever reasons, cognitive disorders or a number of things. So last month we had 1 monthly department meeting, 3 training meetings, 1 officer meeting. For public relation, our department, after our December meeting, we did a fill the boot to be given to the best Christmas ever, and the members coughed up $400 out of their back pockets and to donate to best Christmas ever. We participated, Grand Rapids Fire participated in 2 of the drops, so that was a good thing. Our smoke detector program, we did 6 homes last month, and this time of year our address sign program is, we don't do much in the winter because of the ground freezing. I guess on that note, this month I've been working with our office and emergency government. We are going to, we're going to be putting our address signs all over Wood County Park. So, because our number of calls and incidents within the park are increasing, and all we're going by is somebody at Shady Rest or somebody at the dog beach. Well, if it's a police, fire, EMS thing, that's pretty vague. So there will be numerical assignments to every single parking lot, every single shelter, especially that one right by the dike. Everybody calls it the dog beach. I don't know what the official name is. That will have a numerical address now. So, and we're also going to assign a numerical address to the property up north at Kellner International, where the county owns that land. Because a lot of people like hunt and fly their RC stuff back there or whatever. So anyways, working with Chad Schooley from the county and Jeff Mrozek from Emergency Government, and then Jenna's been working on getting me the numbers so that those signs should be in by, well, my goal is to have them in by May 1st or May 15th, somewhere in there. So, in the month of December, the safety department, there was no injuries to any town employees. So it's 0 injuries for December. Any questions from the board? Yes, Bill?
So on your request for service calls information, is it difficult to compare that from a year ago? Like we had 39 EMS calls in this reporting period. How about in 2022?
Yeah, we have those records. I could dig that up.
Not for me. I mean, I just think if it could be on here,
Okay.
on the report.
All right. Anything else? Yes, Patty?
Is the address is going to be numerical, just like we have the same
Yeah, they're doing it just
System.
like if somebody bought a lot. They're
Okay,
graphing
yep.
it out on the
Okay, that's
system,
good.
so yeah, if it's,
Yeah,
you know, if it's,
that's a great idea.
like for instance, the new shelter they're building of it, that's gonna be another pavilion and storm shelter, that's gonna be like, don't quote me on the number, it's gonna be
Right.
like 7111 South Park Road.
Okay,
So every single one will have a numerical address, so that if somebody calls and they say, well, I'm in Shady Rest, or I'm in
yeah,
Willow Ridge, or whatever,
yeah,
then once EG gets that in their system, that'll go to dispatch. So dispatch will ultimately have that map, and they'll be able to
GPS.
look up where that person is calling 911 from, and we'll be able to get to them faster.
excellent, thank you.
So, anything else? Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Yep.
All right, police department.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay. The December 2023 monthly report for the Grand Rapids Police Department for the month of December. The Grand Rapids Police Department handled 450 calls for service, and that compared to 362 calls for service in December of 2022. So that's about a 24.3% increase in calls. For the year, the Grand Rapids Police Department handled 4,969 calls for service, and that compared to 4,241 calls for service in 2022, and that is about a 17.2% increase in calls. And board members have a breakdown of those calls for the month and for 2023 and 2022. Police Department issued 73 traffic citations, 3 ordinance citations, and 67 written warnings for the month of December. The Grand Rapids Auxiliary Police Helping Hands initiative for the holiday season was another huge success. Through generous donations totaling approximately $3,000 for the town of Grand Rapids businesses and individuals, they were able to assist 4 families, which included 11 children in the area. Gifts, clothes, basic needs, and food certificates were provided to the families so they could have an enjoyable Christmas. In addition to the families served in the community, donations were also provided to the Best Christmas Ever and the Family Center Wisconsin Rapids. Bob already alluded to the Best Christmas Ever that his department contributed to. And our Grand Rapids Auxiliary also contributed to helping that Best Christmas Ever initiative. I'd like to personally thank the Grand Rapids Auxiliary, Sergeant Roxanne Nordbeck and Sergeant Rita Villanueva of the Grand Rapids Auxiliary, and also Officer Cody Conover and Officer James Jaworski, who are the Grand Rapids police officers, OICs for the auxiliary, and all the other volunteers for their time and effort in supporting the cause for Helping Hands Best Christmas Ever. Grand Rapids Police Department would like to welcome Jacob Van Aert as the newest police officer to our ranks. Officer Van Aert started his duties training on December 19th, 2023, and upon completion of his FTO syllabus, you'll be seeing Officer Van Aert patrolling the streets of Grand Rapids. I'd like to welcome Jacob aboard. He's been born and raised in Grand Rapids, so it's good we can get quality officers and quality individuals to stay here and come and serve their community. So, vehicles in the department are doing well outside of normal preventive maintenance and minor repairs. And once again, if you feel free to stop by anytime if you want to chat or have any questions or concerns. Questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mel.
All right, and treasurer.
Okay, for the month of December, our total receipts were $5,558,941.61. Our disbursements were $313,752.53. Our cash on hand at the end of December was $5,149,640.94. Our checking account, our outstanding checks was $91,309.40. Our repo accounts have $89,438.54. Our money market at Prevail has $334,110.32. And our tax accounts have a balance of $5,534,591.82 for a total of $6,049,450.08. Tax season is so terrible. Our ARPA account has a balance of $193,017.21. So our grand total is $6,242,467.29.
All right, next agenda item then is consideration and possible action on resolution 2024-01, conditional use permit application filed by Todd Dillman doing business as Tri-City Golf Course LLC to allow for chlorine for the purpose of constructing a pond for irrigation at 3010 Golf Course Road, parcel number 0700371.
Madam Chair, if I
Yep.
could just to provide a few details to the board before your decision. This was taken up by the Plan Commission at its December meeting, after which there was a recommendation to approve this. There weren't conditions recommended, but there were certain recommendations that were provided, and those are part of your resolution. Those recommendations were provided because they are needed to be provided by our ordinance, and so I'll explain kind of where those come from. First, because of the 5-foot safety bench, 3 foot from the top of the surface water surrounding the perimeter of the pond, and due to the quarrying activity being limited in duration, the Plan Commission recommended that the 1-to-1 degree of slope be approved. Just to a general note, in our ordinance, we do by default require a 3-to-1 slope. That's stated to minimize cave-in, slump, and erosion. So the Plan Commission did have a conversation about kind of the reasons behind recommending that, as it's been proposed, the 1-to-1 be approved, and it largely had to do with that safety bench that was being installed. Second, the Plan Commission made the recommendation that after determining adequate spacing from roadways and developments and the proposed safety bench construction safeguarding public safety, the fencing requirement be waived. Again, in our ordinance by default, there is a fencing requirement that can be waived by the town board. It was the recommendation by the Plan Commission that that be waived.
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion to approve Resolution 2024-01 as presented with the conditions that were explained by Nick.
No, Clinton, yeah, I will second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, next agenda item is consideration and possible action on resolution 2024-02, amending ordinance 52 zoning related to zoning amendments where protest petitions are received after Act 16 and amending commercial side yard setback standards where adjacent to residential zone districts.
I can make that motion to approve Resolution 2024-02 as presented.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Eighth agenda item then is consideration and possible action on resolution 2024-03, public depositories listings.
I will so move.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion?
This is our normal one that we do every year, so.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. All right, ninth agenda item, consideration and possible action on Police Chief Peterson's request to attend 2024 WPLF Midwinter Training Conference in Wisconsin Dells from February 4th, 2024 to February 7th, 2024.
I will so move to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 10th agenda item is consideration and possible action on sale of town equipment.
And the only thing we have is the used mower, and nobody else has given me anything. Do you have kind of an idea of a minimum you want them to set that at, Mike?
Between 4,000 and 5,000 probably. Like that.
That's not
Well, the minimum, we don't, what we use now is that gov deal where what you did last year anyways, was you guys set a minimum, as long as you reach that, the bid is accepted. So-
And I think we've had a better turnout with that new, with gov deals versus the other Wisconsin surplus.
Wisconsin online.
Yeah.
Mhm. So do we feel comfortable making a motion that the minimum to accept a bid would be 5,000? That would be my motion then.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next agenda item is consideration and possible action on cyber liability coverage.
And this, you can see there's 3 options down at the bottom. They're all pretty similar, it's just a little bit different limits.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
4?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
There's 4, yes.
Okay, so,
So choose one of 4.
okay, so when I was reviewing this, option 1 and 2 are of the same to me, and option 3 and 4 are of the same. The difference between option 1 and 2 is the coverage for legal would be between 1,000 or 2,500. The premium payments between 1 and 2 are of the same. So, to me, of the 2, then option 2 would be most favorable for the town. Then if you look at option 3 and 4, again, it is of the same, except for the legal 1,000 and 2,500. The premium is of the same, so it would be option 4 would give you more coverage. So then, between the 2, I would say option 2 or 4. So my question unto you would be, how many times this is the first time we've actually had this. So was there anything in prior history that would have warranted us to go with $300 more premium versus, the other?
We've never had any cyber claims of anything. I mean, our IT is pretty good, obviously, about
Yeah.
catching things. But he's the one that said, this isn't through him, but he said we should definitely have something in place just because of the fraud. And Jewel gets emails from me every day wanting money from me. But she's pretty good at weeding them out.
So this is, so this is a yearly premium and
This
not
is
like
a
a
yearly.
6-month or
No,
whatever?
it's an annual.
Okay.
Are you aware of any business changes or anything else that need to be done for the cyber liability coverage? I just know, we've had to do things like multi-factor authentication and, things like that to come in compliance with the cyber insurance?
The only thing I am aware of is John that was why we had to do the whole, when we had that in December, where we're converting over to the 365, but also that, whatever that whole thing encompassed, I can't tell you. All the security stuff. If we didn't do that, then we wouldn't have fallen, we would have had to waive the coverage.
Yeah.
So, being that we did that, they have not told me of anything else we would need to do, no.
Good. Okay.
Out of the 4, do any?
They're all so similar.
To me, I would probably do like number 2.
Just these,
Yeah.
That's all that's
but then,
different.
yeah, okay.
So,
That's all. I would, if it was myself making this motion, which I can, I would go with option 2.
I mean, I think smaller communities that don't have safeguards in place, but we have pretty good
Right.
secure safeguards in place, so I think that'd be fine.
Okay, so
My
you made the
motion is to go with option 2.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 12th agenda item then is consideration and possible action on 2023 annual financial report.
I mean, I don't think we have a choice. It has to be done.
So one of my other questions, and maybe Nick might be able to give us some insight on it. What if we would go with Kerber Rose is another big accounting firm that does municipalities. Is that something, it almost seems like they really don't want to do it, and that's why they keep upping the dollar amount. Is that something that we can go and get another quote from another auditor?
I mean, I think we could for 2024, for next year, but to do a quote now, to have 2023 audited, being that it gets done in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, okay.
I think would be extremely difficult to get one.
Kind of under the circumstances too.
Well, trying to
try
get
and
somebody
explain
what has happened over the
different-
last 2
yeah.
years,
And they're aware of everything, obviously. so you
they've
don't have
been
to
a part of
explain
it. They know everything about us. They've been with us for.
We should have locked in this price a long time ago.
We couldn't get anything in writing.
I know, I get that.
I know, but, I mean, at least if we have it done for 2023, then going, the next 3 years or whatever, you could just do the lesser one. And
Okay.
then every 3 or 5 years, do the full one.
Okay, I guess I'll make a motion to approve CLA to do our full audit, not to exceed $22,000 as presented.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then we have this December disbursement vouchers. Questions?
I will make a motion to approve the vouchers.
I'll second them as presented.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, then 14th agenda item is operator license applications.
I'll make a motion to approve the 1-year Tori Bredlaw and Brianna Rivest as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, then we are on to monthly reports from the committees. Public Works, we have not met since the last time. We will be planning a meeting soon. We'll plan it in the evening so that it's easier for others to attend. So we'll get that scheduled in the next couple weeks. Airport Commission?
We met last Thursday, the 4th of January. Main topics that came up were, discussion was on the master plan again. It's at kind of a stalemate, and our rep from the firm is trying to, again, light some fire under some people to get things happening. Pavement upgrades are amongst the top on our master plan, and then some terminal upgrades and so on. Our terminal is not able to be expanded, just upgraded. New business, they are going to be looking into some hangar security, electronic locks and cameras. Going to get some bids going out for that equipment. There was a representative on hand from Becker Hoppy to sort of get their name in the hat per se for interest in work in that master plan. They do a lot of work with the airports, provide services that would pretty much cover what the airport is looking for, like tree removal, pavement upgrades, and so on. That's really about it. They're excited about some pro-ams coming to Sand Valley, which is going to really increase traffic again, probably exceed their record fuel sales. February 1st, 2024 is the next meeting at 8 a.m. Thank you.
Recycling, solid waste, and water.
Great news. Spoke with Tim Miller from Waste Management this afternoon, and he said that the carts are going to be delivered the last week in June, or January, not June. Can't even read my own handwriting. In January, usually what they've done before in the past is just put a flyer attached to the cart showing the new schedule for pickup. This year, because of the size of our community, they're going to put flyers in the mail. There'll be cards coming in the mail. Their graphic or marketing department is just doing some final checks right now on it. So the flyers will be to everyone's resident prior to the carts being delivered. He's also going to send us copies to the office. I had directed him to send it to Amanda so that she can post it also on the internet. They'll send us a PDF of what that is. I asked him about if he's going to be invoicing us for the same dollar amount as last year's, being we didn't have the carts in January, but he said that they'll be going with the contract price. So when you see the invoice come in January, it'll be with the new cost, the new contract. So that's about all with that. So that was exciting news.
I have a quick question about that. We've had a lot of people, our snowbirds, they're concerned, obviously they're gone. They're not going to be home till February, March.
Oh.
Do we know how they're going to address those cart drop-offs?
No, cart drop-offs. Do you know, did anyone call about or do we know the snowbirds, that we have the address that we could give to them?
I have quite a few, we have quite a few of them that sign up for home protection.
Okay.
Most of the regular snowbirds, but.
Yeah, maybe we can get that list if you can share that with Amanda, and then Amanda can get with Tim. And I'll also ask Tim about.
Could be a disclaimer or something on their note that if you are leaving, please contact.
Right.
Put the ball in their court.
They're already gone. Maybe their mail is forwarded, but.
Yeah.
Maybe put
also,
the ball more in their court rather than our plate.
Yeah. Well, we have to supply some kind of address. I mean, if we know some of them, we should be proactive with that. But I also asked him about some folks said, well, what do I do with my old garbage cans? And so his answer to that was to, if the small garbage can fits in the current or the new carts, put the garbage can inside of there, and then you can put your garbage inside of that. Otherwise, if it does not fit in the new cart, that to contact Waste Management, and they'll come up with a plan B of when they can pick those up. They'll make a route, because it's a third-party company that's actually delivering the carts.
So I have a couple questions. So, like on Lake Avenue, I talked to a person that takes care of somebody that's, and they've already been told, when they get delivered, will you put them away in your garage, or they got a key, so. I think some of those are taken care of that way.
Oh, that's good.
And then the other thing is, are we gonna get addresses that are gonna be delivered to the address? Now, I know people that get picked up in the front of their house and the back of their house. That's where they get the garbage cans. So are they getting 2 garbage cans, 2 recycling cans? Or is it gonna be like they said, to the address?
To the address is what I understand it to be. Did you supply, you supplied Waste Management with addresses, did
They
you?
didn't ask me for
They didn't ask,
anything.
okay.
No.
I will ask that question.
Any
Okay.
other questions? Plan Commission.
Oh, we met last night, or not last night, Monday night. And so we approved I think there was 19 chicken permits, 19 or 21, I can't remember which of the two. But we approved the chicken permits for the year. And then also we reviewed one of the residents is building a multifamily home. So we reviewed the landscape parking plans that he had, but they're not finalized, so we'll be also having that on our next agenda.
And the cost of a chicken permit is how much again? Is it
$35?
$75 or is it $25?
It's $35 for.
$35.
Right.
Okay. Well, that was the question asked
Yearly,
Monday
yeah,
night.
yearly charge.
Every year.
All right, public buildings, we did not meet. Legislative. Anything additional?
Legislative, was that mentioned? And you had indicated, or somebody had indicated that we could have another one shortly?
We could, yes. What I can do is circulate just an email that starts to poll for availability, and we can get something scheduled in the next month.
All right, public safety.
Did not meet.
Okay, economic development did not meet, and personnel did not meet this last month. WTA meeting.
WTA did not have a meeting in January, but there is one on February 16th in the town of Cameron. And the speaker for that meeting is going to be Chad Schooley from the Parks Department.
Okay. Reports from individual town board members. Bill, do you have anything?
Yes, one thing about what was discussed tonight, I would refer my response to that on item number 18, future agenda items. And then even just to let people know that the annual meeting is coming up, which is going to be the third Tuesday in April. And that's where a lot of discussion could be taken care of, but
Bill,
it can also be,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
that's it.
Oh, I just want to know, are you referring to just requesting a future agenda item regarding the 45th Street? Is that what you're, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Patty, anything?
Nothing further.
Jason?
No, I'm good.
Joe?
No.
Okay. All right. Next agenda item then is public input. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with public input limited to a total of 16 minutes.
I heard you say that you were going to schedule a public works meeting.
Yep.
And I thought, I didn't know what that was for. I was wondering if it was for the 45th Street issue.
Yes.
So people here got to kind of know to be aware that that discussion is going to happen at not a board meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
Because then we can collaboratively have a discussion
Okay.
versus here
You're
we
going to also
can't.
schedule it for a board meeting later on, I see.
Yes, we'll make a recommendation and it'll come to a board meeting.
That committee would then report back to the board.
Maybe explain how that works to some of us that might not know.
Sure. So at the committee meeting, that's where we can have discussions and come up with different solutions, and the committee ultimately then will provide a recommendation to the town board, and then that's when it comes to our town board agendas. And so everything kind of filters through the committee to the town board meetings.
So you would appreciate public comments at the
Yes, at the committee meetings, we can have a discussion back and forth, yep.
And when are they?
We don't have set meetings, so we'll set a meeting. If you go on the website, you can subscribe to meeting agendas or notices when meetings are, and it'll send that to you. So
My concern there is that there's a lot, I'm guessing there's a few more people that will look for the board meeting agenda than they are for the committee meeting agendas. you know?
Yep, so if you
Yeah.
sign up for the committee
Yeah.
meetings, you'll get it. Yep.
We get to work.
Sure.
Yeah, Shirley Clapper, you're gonna put the salt usage on the agenda too? We have a discussion about that?
For Public Works, you mean?
Yeah.
We can, yep.
All right, thank you.
Could we borrow a end loader by the way?
No.
I'll run one.
Any other public input?
Just have a question, so the only place.
Can
that
you
the
just-
meeting
your name,
is
please?
Penny Sherrier, sorry.
Thank you.
Mulberry Circle. So is there a place other than the website where these meetings are posted? Because there are people, believe it or not, without computers.
Yes, the postings are always put out in the vestibule here over at the town garage on 2 Mile and out at the store on 80th Street. That's the 3 public places and then the website. So it's always those 4. And Facebook too now. We usually throw it on there
That's an
too.
issue for those without a computer.
Well, that's why we still do the 3 here. So
Yeah,
short of a
Facebook
carrier
isn't
pigeon,
gonna-
we can't notify everybody else.
Which is required by law, right?
A carrier
Yeah.
pigeon. Yes. The physical places are not anymore if you do the website, but we still do them. So.
So you seem to be receptive to answering questions.
Well, yeah, I was just
I
saying, we're
noticed
probably not
that
supposed
there's no
to.
sign, we used to have a sign out here for marketplace sales that was video, and I see it's gone. At least I think it's gone. What happened to it, or?
I thought it was out there.
Is it there?
You can look right out there, Mike, is it there?
Yeah, you can answer it, that's fine.
I can answer that. That is due to us losing our parking because we,
It got
as you
hit.
can tell, well, it got hit too, and then
Before-
that
yeah,
we lost our
yeah.
parking. We had to save the 1 or 2 spots we had left here, basically. So that, there's still cameras out here, but there's no designated. I mean, people are always welcome to meet anywhere they want, but
So that particular spot is not videoed anymore? I mean, that was the reason for it being here, right?
No.
Because it was under video surveillance.
he's asking if it's still videoed out here, like if somebody were to do an exchange.
Yeah, we're
the whole-
videoed. The whole parking
outside
lot
this
is
whole
videoed.
parking lot.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a
You
designated.
can't get away with anything.
Well, I think people appreciated that. You know, I don't know if anybody used the damn thing, but I have one more thing too.
Okay, go
When I was
ahead.
here to pay my taxes, I was helping an elderly lady come in here because she couldn't park next to the building because there was a lot of cars parked there, which I think are employees' cars. I don't know, but consider that. You know, maybe those, I know the parking out here sucks, you know, and I appreciate that, but, you know, businesses sometimes ask their employees not to park conveniently, you know, so, for what it's worth.
Any other public input?
This is Kiesling from Woodrock Avenue. So I'd like to talk about the 45th Street closure. I really appreciate all the comments from people. I guess something I hadn't considered was the EMS access. Just a little background. My understanding is the reason that street was closed is because we want to avoid stoppage and left-hand turns onto the highway, because that was the reason the roundabout was actually put in, was to avoid accidents because of the high speeds. I personally have been struggling to come up with a solution that would accomplish that. I guess I just would encourage the people that are directly affected to really think about how you could get emergency access into Blueberry Lane, but still reach the goal of not having people turn left onto the highway and avoiding accidents. So that would be something to really back your cause and you come up with a solution. I don't have one personally. If you can make it a one-way street so you can get access in, an emergency vehicle can violate that. I don't know if that's an option, but just think of something that would avoid people making that left-hand turn from that stop sign to still allow access would really help their cause.
I agree with you.
And one other thing, the waste management, they didn't get our bins until the end of January, so I would really push back on their cost increase for the month of January, because they really didn't add any extra service. Just my comment there.
Sure.
Diane Jaworski, 2511 Blueberry Lane. Just in response to your reply, it's a good idea. However, now that the speed has changed down to 35, leaving 45th onto W, now we go down Wazeecha and we have traffic going the same distance, but we have more traffic going through the roundabout. If we kept 45, the speed limit's down and the traffic is, about the same.
Anyone else for public input? Okay.
That must have took our half an hour, huh?
You only get 16
You only
minutes.
get
on this
16,
one. But you made it.
Yeah. All right, any other future agenda items?
Yes, I want to discuss that future agenda item. The vote was 3-2 on closing that road the way it did. I think you should have it at a regular meeting at night like this. You have that during the day when a lot of these people are not a lot of, maybe, but a lot of people are working, can't come to the meeting. I think this is what town board meetings are all about, is for people to come here and discuss this and take a little more time and let the people be involved in it. I think it could be a regular agenda item. That's my
The
thoughts.
Public Works meeting will be at night.
It will be at night, it was already noted.
And allowing it to be at a Public Works meeting allows us to have better conversation with the public.
It was stated that would be convenient for board and public.
So where was that stated?
I just did.
She earlier, she did when she, yeah.
Any other future agenda items? Okay, then motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you.